Hi, CMSRU. This is CMSRWe, where we discuss topics like vet school, Cooper, and just life in general. We're back with another episode. This is going to be a continuation from last week, where we discussed the results of a survey that I had sent out to our classmates. And just to give you a refresher, there are about 112 people in our class and 47 people responded. We're assuming that these are all individual, separate answers rather than one person putting in multiple submissions. And the reason that we don't know this information definitively is because everyone stayed anonymous. This was an opt-in survey, and it was just for fun to figure out what our class is made of. I know you've been waiting for this week's episode where we talk about questions like relationship status.
Ooh.
So we'll dive right into it. All right, the next question, what is your relationship status?
Drum roll.
I think some people were eager to know this. So once again, 47 people responded, and the choices were super single but don't want to mingle, in a committed relationship of at least 6 months, in a brand new relationship less than 6 months, or I put a ring on it, or it's complicated, or Dr. Coker is my true love, or I don't want to answer this question. The leading at the polls was super single, which comprised of a little over 38% and 18 people. And the next biggest category was in a committed relationship of at least 6 months or more. And that was 13 people, and that was rounded up to 28%. And then after that, the most popular answer was Dr. Coker is my true love, with 6 people, almost 13%.
Wow.
We can't hate on them.
Yeah, we can't.
They probably have it.
They have love.
Exactly.
And 3 people said they put a ring on it.
Which I'm not surprised. It seems like a majority of our class is in like some sort of relationship. Like maybe away from the survey, given that it's only 47 responses. But yeah, that's what it seems like when you're looking into the class.
2 people said in a brand new relationship, which lasted so far less than 6 months. And so if we add them all together, it's about 18 people who are in a relationship.
Oh, really? Wow, you
cool.
did the math.
Yeah, well, 13 plus 2 plus 3.
Thanks for the math, though. I didn't get that.
A little under 40%, which is pretty significant.
I feel like this question's not representative.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
Because everyone's in a relationship. Literally everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah? In our class?
Are you guys?
No. No, but there's like not that many people.
No, but it's true though. Like it literally seems like no one's single in our class.
Yeah, well, would you want them to be more single, right? Like, wouldn't you rather?
No, I think they're my colleagues, so I wouldn't want to date within my class.
Exactly.
Ideally.
Exactly.
But you know, if it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that reminds me. I told my boyfriend that if he wanted to propose, this past weekend would have been a great time because my parents would have been there. His mom was there. We could have made it happen. It did not happen.
This summer could be a great time. You have more freedom this summer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, let's tell him that.
And I feel like, okay, proposals, like, at special occasions are, like, low-key selfish to me. Like, okay, think about it. Like, if you have your white coat ceremony, which is, like, very, like, personal to you, and then you get proposed to on your white coat ceremony, what if things don't work out? Like, then you start to think about, like, your white coat ceremonies associated with that. Or, like, when people, like, get engaged, like, on Thanksgiving, like, make it about Thanksgiving. Like, or, like, Christmas. Like, Christmas should be about Christmas. Like, not about, like, I know that it's, like, a good time, like, since everyone's already celebrating, but I'd rather celebrate a brand new day than, like, hop onto this because what if something happens? And then I start to associate this memory with, like, that.
Yeah. So when would be a good day?
For me?
Yeah.
Like, not a holiday?
Like fall, spring.
For me?
Do you have any
I don't even have a boyfriend.
But what I've seen the trend though to be is that people propose on the day they got together. They get married on
that would be nice. That would be nice.
That's a trend I've been seeing.
Everybody gets proposed to on Christmas Eve. Like a little bit basic.
Well, guys, I met Caleb on leap year.
Yikes. Well, he has some waiting to do.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit selfish for me, but like that's just my perspective.
No, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, which reminds me of the white coat ceremony. Now that you bring it up, I don't like so far. It hasn't really sunk into me yet, and I'm not saying it didn't mean a lot to me, but I just felt different about it. Like when I graduated college, I definitely had a very emotional response. And the white coat ceremony, I know some people were kind of treating it like prom. They were getting ready starting at 10 a.m.
Wow.
And I got ready, probably took a shower and put my dress on and then left because we were short on time.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because like college was the end of your journey and like you went through so much to get there, and like all the hard like late nights and all that and all the exams that you had to do, but this is the beginning of our journey and we don't really know like what's coming yet. So maybe that's why there's a difference in the feeling. And do you normally get ready that long for an event? Like do you take like a long time to go to like get ready for an event, or
yeah
no? You do?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna say like maybe it's in their personality that they took such a long time.
Well, for this, we had this formal back in undergrad, and I probably took 2-3 hours getting ready. And I had a blast. And this time, I think you're right. It's more like we're starting something. It's like a convocation rather than like graduation.
Yeah, but there is cause to like be emotional, like especially if you wanted to be a doctor since you were like 5 years old, and then now like you're walking across the stage and everything's coming to fruition. Like there is cause to be emotional.
You know what made me emotional though was after the ceremony, we were gonna go to the Monarch Diner. Woo! Okay, but before we stopped at Goodwill just to browse around, and I saw this heart-shaped basket made out of wire, and it had pink beads hanging off of it, and I recognized it as the basket that that was sold at Walmart during Valentine's Day, maybe when I was in 2nd grade. So a really long time ago. And I had a sleepover. It was probably like one of my first slumber parties, and then all my friends came, but I was worried that my parents wouldn't know to make gift favors, like party favors, because they like that was the first time they had something like that. And I had gone to my friends' sleepovers, and they all gave us really cool party favors and candy and bracelets and things like that. So I was pretty worried, and I think at the time I was still kind of walking that line between being like wanting to fit in, and like because I want to fit in, I would sometimes be a little dismissive of my culture or not be as understanding. I guess many times I expected a lot more from my parents without really thinking about the context that we were in. And I think from then until now, I've definitely had more of the maturing and more of the thoughtfulness, I hope, when balancing those two cultures. But anyway, so the night before my birthday, I'm just really worried, and they're all over, and then we have the sleepover, and the next morning, my parents had woken up at like 5 a.m. They drove to Walmart, which back then was about 40 minutes away. Oh, wow. And they had bought those baskets, and they filled it with little trinkets and stuff to make party favors. And my greedy ass was, I was happy that my friends got the party favors, but they didn't get me one. And so I got angry, I got mad, and I started crying. And looking back on that, I'm so embarrassed about how I reacted. So when I saw that basket at Goodwill, that's when I started crying. Aww. It wasn't really about the white coat. It was more, I think, about my parents.
And like how much they've done for you. Like the sacrifices and like now you're going to be a doctor.
Hopefully.
You are.
We're gonna get there. No worries. Yeah, but it's definitely, I guess, it was a journey, and then thinking back and reflecting, that's what made you like emotional, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because I don't really see my parents very often.
I feel that.
I see my parents all the time.
I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Go for it, Denise.
If you are in a relationship, is it long distance? And in, what is it, parentheses, based on your own definition of the term, yes, no, not in a relationship, stop rubbing it in, or I don't want to answer this question.
Oh, and?
Of course, there was one person that did not want to answer the question. And then what's interesting is it was 21 people who said, stop rubbing it in. So,
They're not in a relationship.
yeah.
And?
There were 16 people that said no, and then 9 people who said yes. So,
Was that surprising to you guys?
no.
I think the no was a little surprising to me. The no answer. That was more than the yes answer. But then I guess everyone's from
Jersey, that's why.
So they might not consider that a long distance relationship.
Or I know some people whose partner lives with them
Exactly.
now. Like they moved
That's
together.
so nice. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. Okie dokie. So this was a pretty controversial question. And the question is, what specialty are you interested in at the moment? And realize that I was writing the survey at a very short time period, and I just wanted to get it out there to have just more people take the survey. And I put like the top 3 or 3 or 4 that came to my mind, and they were surgery, I want to be someone's PCP, radiology, peds, OB-GYN, and I don't want to answer this question, of course, and one is I don't want to be a doctor, and then the last choice was something that wasn't on this extremely narrow list, which is a choice that I made because I knew I wouldn't be able to cover everything. And unsurprisingly, most people chose that answer. 25 people, which is over 53%, said they want to be something that is not any of the options. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that I had put. But almost 20% said they want to be someone's PCP, and almost 15% said they are interested in surgery, and 3 people didn't want to answer the question. 1 person said they don't want to be a doctor. 1 person said OB-GYN, and 1 person said peds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
we either have a smartass or someone who is not supposed to be in med school.
I'm sorry to that 1 person. Well, you can do a lot of things with an MD, I guess.
Yeah,
I think people assume that you want to practice, but you can do a bunch of other things.
See, before like last week, I didn't know all the stuff you could do with an MD, like consulting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
Yeah. A lot of
You could
people
be a lawyer.
People go to law school first and then get their MDs.
Like malpractice law. Or patent.
I would not want to do that.
Or even management, hospital management.
yeah. There's a lot you could do.
Yeah, there's a lot you could do, but I would love to practice.
Same.
All right, next question was,
Do you go to lecture? Yes, more than 50% of the time. Sometimes less than 50% of the time. Depends on who's lecturing. No, I went in the beginning and now I don't, and I do not want to answer this question. 1 person doesn't want to answer. And then we still have like a faithful bunch, 14, that still go to lecture. 13 that don't. And then we have people who started going, that's 9 who started, and then they don't go anymore. Depends on who's lecturing, that's 6, and sometimes less than 50%. Wait, what's this one then? Oh, no. People don't go. 13% don't go.
yeah. Oh,
and
30,
then
13%.
13 people don't go.
Yeah.
God, I butchered that. And then poor people, sometimes they go. I'm sorry. If you can understand that, good for you.
I think this kind kind of makes sense, especially today at lecture.
It was empty.
They're probably like,
I was like, where did everyone
14
go? I think there was less people than for the lecture before white coat ceremony.
yeah, actually, you're right.
I was like, whoa, where did you guys go? Okay.
I think they're either preparing for the jigsaw session,
Jigsaw.
which is a team-based test learning experience that we have occasionally. And I think other people, I don't know, maybe it's just after white coat weekend and they wanted to catch up.
Yeah.
I definitely need to catch up.
Yeah, same.
I feel so behind.
But we'll get there.
We'll get there. All right, next one. Next two are kind of a combination. What do you use to take notes during lecture/lab? And which of the following do you mostly rely on to study? And so, not surprisingly, 53% said they use a computer, and 20% said iPad or Android tablet. 15% said a combination of iPad, tablet, and or computer. And 3 people are still taking notes on paper. 2 people don't, and 1 person doesn't want to answer the question. I guess I was surprised that so many people take notes on the computer, because I think I see a lot of iPads and tablets.
I mean, I use both. Was that an option?
Yeah.
Combination. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I definitely use my laptop. So,
OneNote.
yes, OneNote.
Do you like it?
Yes, I enjoy it. I like it.
Does it take up a lot of space on your computer?
Because it's all saved on OneDrive.
Oh, okay. But you have to buy OneDrive?
No, if you use the Rowan, technically pays for it already for us.
Oh, wow.
You just log in with your Rowan email.
How much space?
Unlimited.
What?
No, you
I'm
said
pretty
it was
sure.
2 terabyte.
Or maybe that's what it is, but that's pretty much
What?
like, a
I
lot.
didn't know that.
Because for me, right after block 1, it's my personal account started filling up, and that's how I had to transfer everything over to my Rowan account.
Oh,
and now
okay.
it's been pretty good.
Oh, wow.
And I had, I think, 3 gigs of information on the last one, which then started filling it up completely to the 5 gigs. So I already had stuff there. And now I'm just like, yes, I don't have to think about it.
That's great. Okay, I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that. Well, the question that follows it was, what do you rely on the most to study? And Anki came in at top, and Anki is basically a flashcard kind of program, and it was originally created to learn languages. Anki is Japanese for memorization, and a lot of people, I can attest to this, a lot of people use Anki.
Yeah.
And the second highest was drawing or writing out the concepts again. And then after that was reading the notes I took in class and talking about the concepts out loud with someone. And the other options were other forms of flashcards, which was just 1 person. 1 person said, I don't want to answer the question. Oh, three people. Thank you. 3 people use other form of flashcards. 1 person doesn't want to answer. 1 person says, I don't study. I just listen to lecture. 1 person reviews lecture slides. 1 person uses lecture notes or boards and beyond. And 1 person said, LOL, please tell me how to study.
Oh, wow. We didn't give the option of not being able to answer this question.
Oh, we did.
there.
Oh, was it?
It was, yeah, this is 1 person.
Still that 1 person. Okay.
Well, this question, people could just choose whatever applied to them. So it's
Yeah.
not really a
You could
percentage. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have done multiple, right, for this one?
Yeah, you could have done multiple. And I try to use Anki, and I try to do a combination of all these.
Yeah, I've just been doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I do not use Anki.
All right, we're almost down. We're down to the last 2 questions, and we'll go through them real quick. How many service organizations are you planning to do this semester? So for those of you who don't know the curriculum, we are required to complete 35 hours of volunteering in the community per semester.
Per year.
Per year? Oh, okay. I thought it was per semester.
No.
Okay. That makes
Per
more
year.
sense.
But people, like, always go over, like, above and beyond.
Okay. And Cooper has many service organizations. And so we were wondering how many they signed up for. Most people signed up for 3. And then after that, the most popular was 2. So about almost half the class, or half the participants, signed up for 3. About 30% signed up for 2. And four people signed up for one. One person doesn't want to answer. And one person signed up for 5. And 4 people signed up for 4. I feel like I'm spread pretty thin. So that kind of gets me nervous. I think I need to whittle down.
Yeah, I feel that. We'll see how it goes. It's also still, I guess, I'm 1 year trying to figure things out.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like a freshman?
I wouldn't say I feel like a freshman. No, not at all. But it's more the fact being disciplined. That's what it is.
But do you think it's different, like wildly different than undergrad in terms of time management?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's much more structured now, so it's pretty consistent that, okay, at this time I'm going to be free, that's it, do work right after. Whereas in college, you could have literally had your classes every day on a different, time, so you had to manage it completely different. Like, okay, I have classes in the afternoon, I gotta study in the morning. Well, now tomorrow I have classes in the morning, I gotta study in the afternoon. Or, planning meetings out. It was just, I feel like the structure was different. Whereas here, for the most part, everything's done during the day.
Yeah, I think med school reminds me a lot of high school. But the thing about that is the day ends in the afternoon. It starts way early in the morning, ends in the afternoon, and I don't think the time that's left is enough for me personally to study everything and feel like I'm on top of it. How do you feel, Will?
A little bit of like what both of you said. Yes, you can organize yourself. Even though I can't pick my classes, I can decide to go to the classes and when to cover my material. But then there are those Tuesdays and Thursdays when I feel very structured that I have to go to certain things, like the required things. I don't know. I think it is very different, though, than anything I've done before.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Last question. Are you happy here? Scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most happy. Luckily, 55% of the participants said they were 5, which is most happy. And then 34% said 4. Pretty good. And then 3 people said 3. That's 6.4%. And 1 person said 1. And 1 person didn't want to answer the question. No one said 2.
I find that interesting too. But if you went below a 3, we're here too. We can make your life fun. Come talk to us.
I think I'm really happy to be going to med school, but there are some times during the week when I'm definitely at that low level. And I think it's more stress.
Yeah, you're in a mood.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say I'm very happy here.
Yeah. But I guess it just really depends. It varies from person to person. We don't know what everyone goes through.
Yeah, that's true. It could be because of other factors, like you said.
But regardless, everyone's here for you, whoever it is. So reach out. Don't hesitate.
Yeah. All of us break down crying at least a couple times a week.
Re-fucking-tweet.
We all do that. I mean, some people do it in the privacy of their own homes. Some people do it in an LG room. Some people power cry in the bathroom. Some people do all 3, like me.
She's versatile.
Yeah, I can work with anything.
Yeah, but seriously, if you need help, don't hesitate to ask. In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We saw a movie called Do No Harm, which was about mental health. And we won't get into it now, but basically I want to end the episode saying that there are lots of resources at Cooper, because I think the staff really cares about wellness and mental health from my experience. And that may not be this person's experience or other people's experience. So I do empathize with the difficulties of being at med school.
Yeah, regardless where you are. But yeah, to end on a happy note, hopefully you enjoyed listening to us talk